John had always been a man of simple tastes. He liked quiet streets, old bookstores, and objects that carried history. On a Saturday morning, he wandered into a narrow alley in the older part of the city. The alley smelled faintly of rain and dust, and tiny shops crowded along its sides, each with strange items displayed in their windows. One shop, almost hidden behind faded curtains, caught his attention. Its sin was small and weathered, curiosities of the world. Inside, the air was warm and smelled faintly of old paper and metal polish. Shelves lined the walls, filled with strange trinkets, antiques, and objects that seemed older than memory. He wandered slowly, running his fingers along carved figurines, glass bottles, and peculiar stones. His eyes caught something small but bright on a velvet cushion or ring. It was simple yet elegant. A narrow band of metal with an intricate pattern engraved around it. It seemed ordinary at first, but something about it made him pause. It felt alive, almost like it was waiting for him. Without fully understanding why, John took it to the counter. The shopkeeper, a thin man with sharp eyes, gave him a knowing smile. "That one chooses its owner," the man said softly. "It is no ordinary ring." John chuckled nervously. "I just like simple things. I don't believe in magical stuff." The shopkeeper's eyes twinkled. "Then perhaps it has chosen the right skeptic." John paid and slipped the ring into his pocket. On his way home, he turned it over in his hands, admiring the delicate engravings. He didn't notice the tiny pulse of light that flickered faintly along the ring's surface, like it had a heartbeat of its own. That evening, he sat alone in his small apartment. The city outside buzzed with cars and chatter, but inside, everything was quiet. He placed the ring on his finger. At first, nothing happened. He turned it around, admiring the engravings and the soft glow of his lamp. Then slowly, he felt a warmth spreading from the ring through his hand. It was gentle, soothing, but not entirely normal. John frowned. "Okay, that's strange," he muttered. He tried to take the ring off, but it didn't budge. He tugged, twisted, even tried lubricating it with soap and water, but the ring refused to move. Panic rose in him, a tight feeling in his chest. Suddenly the room shimmered. A soft hum filled the air, and faint patterns of light danced across the walls. Before he could react, a voice spoke not aloud, but inside his mind. "Do not be afraid. You have accepted the bond. You are now connected to Princess Liara of Veyara." John stumbled back in shock, his heart racing. What? Princess? Bond? Who is? Where are you?" "You are chosen," the voice continued calmly. "The ring is not a mere ornament. It is a sacred artifact of my people. By wearing it, you have entered into a marriage bond. It is both honor and responsibility." John's mind raced. "Marriage, alien princess?" He laughed nervously. "This has to be a joke. Some prank. Or maybe I'm imagining it." The ring pulsed gently, almost insistently, as if reminding him that this was no illusion, far across the galaxy. On a planet that shimmered with violet skies and seas of glowing crystal, Princess Liara felt a sudden shift in the energy around her. Her advisor, a tall, thin figure with silver eyes, noticed her stillness. "Your Highness?" the advisor asked cautiously. Lyra's eyes were fixed on the shimmering map of the universe before her. "It is happening," she whispered. "The bond has been activated." The advisor tilted his head. "A human? Here?" "Yes," she replied. "I must meet him. The ring has chosen him for reasons I cannot yet understand." Back in his apartment, John's fear grew. Okay. Slow down," he muttered. "I don't even know how to deal with this." He noticed the ring now glowing faintly, almost like a pulse. Then the air near him began to ripple, and a soft blue light formed in the center of the room. A figure emerged from the light, tall and graceful. Her skin was pale, almost translucent, with patterns that glimmered faintly like starlight. Her hair fell like silver silk around her shoulders, and her eyes. Her eyes shone with a strange light, deep and endless. John froze, unable to move or speak. "You are John?" the figure asked. Her voice was calm, but carried authority. I am Princess Liara of Veyara. The ring has bound us together. You are now my partner in life. John's mind struggled to comprehend. I think I need a minute, he stammered. He stepped back, but the energy in the room seemed to follow him, almost like it was alive. Liara tilted her head slightly, observing him. There is nothing to fear. The bond does not demand anything against your will. It simply connects us. It will guide us, protect us, and eventually, you will understand its purpose. The warmth in his hand spread to his arm, then through his chest, a strange, comforting energy. Despite his fear, he felt a connection, subtle but undeniable. A whisper of emotions not entirely his own curiosity, calmness, and something like anticipation. John sank into his chair, trying to process. So, I'm married to an alien princess, he asked, sounding both incredulous and slightly amused. Lyra's lips curved into a soft smile. Technically, yes. But marriage in Veyran terms is not as humans know it. It is a union of purpose, trust, and mutual respect. We will learn from each other. Ours passed as John and Liara spoke, not in person, but through the strange connection of the ring. She showed him images of her world cities that floated above glowing oceans, forests that shimmered with bioluminescent life, creatures that moved with intelligence and grace unlike anything on Earth. He was both awed and overwhelmed. What happens now? He asked finally, exhaustion in his voice. Liora's gaze softened. You will come to Veyara. The ring will open a portal for you when the time is right. You will see my world, meet my people, and begin to understand the bond. John swallowed hard. I don't know if I'm ready for this. You were chosen, she said softly. Not because you are ready, but because you are human. Your world has strengths my people lack: empathy, adaptability, courage. The bond sensed it. That is why it chose you. For the rest of the night, John could not sleep. The ring glimmered faintly on his finger, and the voice of Liara echoed in his mind occasionally, gentle and patient. He kept glancing at it, a mix of fear and curiosity gnawing at him. He had always wanted adventure, a break from the ordinary. But he had never imagined something like this, something that could change his life entirely. The next morning, he woke to find the ring warm against his skin and the portal forming again in the center of his apartment. Liara stepped through, her figure glowing faintly in the soft morning light. This is your world, she said, her eyes meeting his, and soon it will be a bridge between ours. Will you come? John took a deep breath. The rational part of his mind screamed to run, to hide, to do anything but follow this alien princess into a world he could not imagine. But another part, the part that had always longed for more, whispered that he had no choice. The moment had chosen him. He nodded slowly. I'll go. The moment he said it, the portal expanded, and they both stepped into the swirling blue light together. John felt a rush of energy, his body tingling, and a sense of wonder unlike anything he had known. When the light faded, they stood on the surface of Veyara. The sky was violet, streaked with bands of glowing light. Towers made of crystalline material reflected the brilliance of twin suns. Strange, elegant creatures moved among the streets, and the air was filled with a melody that was almost alive. Liara extended her hand. Welcome to my world. Your journey has only just begun. John looked around, his fear slowly giving way to awe. He had left Earth behind entirely, and the simple ring he had bought as a trinket had led him to a place beyond his wildest imagination. He realized with a mixture of excitement and apprehension that nothing in his life would ever be the same again. As the twin suns rose higher, casting brilliant light across Veyara, John felt the bond in his hand pulse gently. It was not just a ring anymore. It was a promise, a connection, and the beginning of an extraordinary adventure. And so, the human and the alien princess began their journey together, bound by a ring, connected by fate. And standing on the edge of a universe filled with wonders they had yet to discover, John took a deep breath as he looked around the alien city. Every surface shimmered with light, and the air vibrated softly, almost like it had music inside it. He had never seen anything like this on Earth. Leora's hand remained in his, firm but gentle. "You must be careful," Leora said. "Viara is beautiful, but it is not like your world. My people are curious. Some will welcome you, others may test you." John nodded, trying to hide his nerves. "I think I'm ready, or at least, I will try." Leora smiled faintly. "Good, that is all I ask." They walked through streets lined with tall, crystalline towers. Creatures of various shapes passed them, some tall and slender, some short and glowing with bioluminescent patterns. They moved gracefully, communicating with soft sounds and gestures. John felt both awe and a little fear, but the warmth of the bond in his hand reassured him. "Do they all know about the bond?" John asked. "Not yet," Liara said. "It is rare for a human to be chosen. Some will see it as an honor, others as a challenge. You will learn quickly how to earn their respect." They reached a large open square where a fountain of light danced into the sky. At the center stood a council of Veyara's elders. Their eyes glowed softly, and their expressions were calm but serious. Liara bowed slightly, and John instinctively did the same. "These are the elders," Liara whispered. "They will guide us, but they will also watch you closely." An elder stepped forward. "John of Earth," he said, his voice deep and melodic, "you have accepted the bond of Veyara. This is a union of life and purpose, not just ceremony. We will observe you. Prove that you are worthy of this connection." John swallowed. I will do my best." The elder nodded. "Your best must include courage, understanding, and respect for our ways. Learn quickly, human, for the time ahead is not without challenge." As the council moved away, Liara turned to John. "Your first task will be to understand our people. You must see their strengths and fears, their ways and traditions. Only then will the bond grow stronger." John followed her through the city, noticing the details. The buildings seemed to hum with energy. Some moved slightly, as if breathing. Plants glowed softly and seemed to respond to touch. He saw young Veyrans practicing their skills in the open, manipulating energy fields and levitating objects with precision. He was amazed, but also intimidated. "Do you think I can do it?" he asked quietly. "You can," Liara said. "Humans have qualities we admire: courage, ingenuity, and the ability to think differently. The bond chose you because of these strengths. You only need to discover them yourself." Over the next days, John was introduced to the daily life of Veyara. He learned their language quickly, thanks to the connection of the ring, which seemed to translate thoughts naturally. He practiced using simple energy tools, learning to manipulate objects without touching them. It was difficult, but he discovered that his human mind approached challenges differently than the Veyrans, sometimes finding solutions they overlooked. One evening, Liara took him to a quiet overlook above the city. The twin suns of Veyara were setting, painting the sky in colors he had no names for. "Do you ever doubt the bond?" John asked honestly. I didn't even know this place existed yesterday. Now, I'm part of it." Liara looked at him, her eyes reflecting the colors of the sunset. "I doubted at first," she admitted. "Humans are fragile compared to Veyrans. But I sensed something in you, something rare: compassion, honesty, and courage. The bond is not about forcing you. It is about revealing what is already inside you." John felt a warmth that had nothing to do with the ring. He realized he trusted her completely, even though he barely knew her. He smiled faintly. "I guess. I'll do my best to prove it." A sudden alarm sounded across the city. Lights flashed, and Lyra's expression turned serious. "That sound? Trouble." They hurried to the center, where a group of Veyrans had surrounded a hovering craft. It was sleek, black, and unfamiliar. A figure stepped out, a tall alien with sharp features and a commanding presence. "This human is not yours," the stranger said. "The bond is weak. He is unworthy." The Veyrans tensed. John felt the bond pulse in his hand, almost like it was warning him. Liara stepped forward, He is chosen. The bond is real. You will not interfere, the stranger laughed. Then we shall see. Suddenly, energy blasts shot from the craft. The Varens reacted instantly, forming shields and deflecting the attacks. John's instincts kicked in. Without thinking, he raised his hands. The energy flowed from the ring, surprising him as it shaped itself into a protective barrier around them. The stranger froze for a moment, clearly surprised. Lyra's eyes widened in admiration. The bond? It responds to you, John. You can control it. John focused, letting the energy flow naturally. The protective barrier expanded, pushing the attacker's ship back. In a sudden move, he formed a beam of energy, not to harm, but to force the craft away from the city. The attacker realized John was not ordinary and retreated, disappearing into the sky. The Varens cheered. Lyra smiled softly. You did it. You protected my people. You proved your strength. John's heart raced. He had never felt so alive. He realized that even though he was human, the bond amplified his courage and focus. He had faced danger, and he had not failed. Over the next days, John continued to learn. He explored Veyara, meeting its people, understanding their culture, and slowly gaining their trust. The bond with Lyra deepened, a subtle connection that allowed them to share thoughts and emotions without speaking. They laughed, argued gently, and discovered each other's strengths and fears. One day, while walking through a forest of glowing trees, John asked, Lyra, do you ever wish humans were more like Vayrens? Lyra shook her head. No. Your differences are what make you strong. Your curiosity, your courage, and even your unpredictability. These are qualities we lack. The bond chose you because you complete what we cannot. Together, we are stronger. John smiled. He had started as a man who liked simple things, but now he felt part of something much greater. He understood that the ring was more than an artifact. It was a bridge between worlds, and he had been chosen to cross it. Weeks passed, and John faced more challenges, negotiating with skeptical Varens, helping during natural disasters, and learning to control the energy that the bond provided. Each time, he surprised himself and those around him. He realized that humans, though ordinary in many ways, could achieve extraordinary things when courage and purpose were combined. One evening, Lyra and John stood atop a high tower, overlooking the city bathed in the light of the twin suns. You've changed, Lyra said softly. John looked at her, smiling. I've learned from you. And maybe I've learned from myself too. Lyra reached out and held his hand. The bond is not just magic or tradition. It is trust, respect, and partnership. You have proven yourself not because of the ring, but because of who you are. John felt a warmth spread through him, a deep sense of belonging. He realized that being human was not a weakness. It was a strength in a universe that needed balance. Together, he and Lyra stood, not just bound by an alien ring, but by mutual understanding, courage, and a shared purpose. The city glowed beneath them, alive with energy, and John knew that this was only the beginning. His simple choice to buy a ring had led him to an adventure beyond imagination. And now he was not only a visitor in an alien world, but a partner, a protector, and a human who had proven that even the simplest person could change the fate of worlds. As night fell over Veyara, the twin moons rose, casting silver light across the towers and forests. John looked at Lyra, and she at him. In that moment, words were unnecessary. The bond between them was clear, stronger than any artifact, symbol, or tradition. It was the bond of trust, courage, and the extraordinary connection between two very different worlds. John took a deep breath, feeling the power and warmth of the ring. He had crossed a threshold from ordinary to extraordinary. His journey as a human in an alien world had only just begun, but he knew one thing for certain together. He and Lyra could face anything, and in doing so, humanity itself had shown its strength. And so, the human and the alien princess continued their journey. Bonded by choice, courage, and destiny, standing on the edge of a universe full of challenges, wonders, and the promise of endless adventure.